Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page. Visit our partner pureatbowling.com and use the special code TAMER when making a purchase to be entered into a monthly drawing. I want to thank Limerick Bowl for their support. If you're in the area, don't forget to visit Limerick Bowl in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Today we are testing the new Roto Grip Wild Streak. As usual, we're testing on our medium house shot. We also have an opportunity to throw it on two different sport shots and lane beds. First impressions, there's something interesting here with the Wild Streak. It's different than anything else in the lineup and offers something a bit unique, even if it appears to overlap with some ball motions. For value, we gave it a B. I could see the value proposition varying wildly depending on the bowler and condition, but more on that throughout the review. Overall, we gave the Wild Streak a B on house shot, A on sport shot. The Wild Streak seeks to revive some nostalgia of the rotary core balls like the Nomad series. What I can easily say is this ball doesn't look like anything else in the current Roto lineup. This ball has some unique characteristics that I'll spend a little time on. The ball does come with some surface, 3000, and may at times feel too much and at times too little. It's capable of backhand, it can be smooth. Trying to play it more direct, and it felt a bit too strong, with sometimes blowing through the spot. When I moved in, it actually looked really good, so it did seem reasonably happy in the oil and giving it room to come back. All this to say that the ball essentially telegraphs what you tell it to do. I would say for the sort of accurate, consistent bowlers, this is going to be a versatile ball. For the average house bowlers, I think this ball might seem a little release sensitive. And while as you watch, I'm showing you many shots so you can see the different parts of the lane I tried to play. The tall core gives it length. The cover gives it traction. If you get on it, it can look explosive. If you're nice to it, it can look smooth. Again, it's versatile. Ultimately, I just use a lower score because I feel like the average league bowler might want a ball that's a little less release sensitive. Shawn is next on the house shot, and he saw the same more or less. The Wild Streak doesn't exactly feel like a ball you want to throw massively away from the pocket, but you can give it some room. His first instinct was it has too much cover, and that would imply it's cover dominant. But when thrown well in the right area of the lane, it feels better balanced cover to core. Something I'll mention that wasn't explicitly called out by Roto Grip, as far as I can recall, the Wild Streak has no filler, so it's cover and weight block like the high road. And I think you've probably heard conversation before about coefficient of restitution with balls that have no core. Namely, they transfer a bit more energy through the pins. What I can tell you is this ball does appear to really go through the pins well. Bryan was next, and probably not surprisingly for him, it felt more on the weaker side overall in terms of board coverage. He got lined up going up the boards through, say, 5, 6, 7 at the arrows, but he seemed to carry almost everything. I mean, the ball hit really well. Whether he went high flush or light swisher, more often than not, the pins fell. And it honestly was pretty straightforward for Bryan. So introducing something a little different today, we had an opportunity to test on our partner's lane at Pure At Bowling, and we had a 43-foot pattern on the wood surface. And here the Wild Streak looked phenomenal. The wood surface gives the ball some more mid-lane churn, so it balances out that high RG. And so, here the higher RG gives it the added natural length and allows it to store energy for the turn. Again, you can see the variations. If I get on it, it takes a harder turn down lane. If I'm nice to it, it blends and looks much smoother. Bottom line is it struck a lot either way. So Bryan is back at Limerick in the high volume Scorpion pattern, and this is much tougher here, but man, did his ball just strike. I mean, yes, he was pretty direct, and if you watch, I mean, it was literally the same line he was using on the house shot. It just happens to be, but to be sure, this is a tough pattern, but Bryan made it look easy with the Wild Streak. Just played up the boards, got that nice arc through the pins. Shawn is also on the Scorpion pattern at Limerick, and he now was into the 4th arrow on this pattern, compared to much more direct on the house shot, but taking care not to go too wide. Again, I mean, you can see the ball goes through the pins well, and I would say it gave him a useful look overall. Final thoughts. Typically, I would say for us, balls have higher house shot ratings versus the sport shot ratings, but it was actually the opposite for the Wild Streak. And while I could argue it was a bit middling on house because of its, bit of what I would call release sensitivity, especially on ours that was playing slick. It was phenomenal on the sport shot. And I do think your personal experience may vary depending on you as a bowler, the pattern, and volume. So if your house has lots of friction to the outside, you're going to get more forgiveness and more defined movement, hence maybe a personal higher score. But there you have it. This is likely going to be a good tournament ball and one that may just fill a hole in your bag.
I need to tell you the one Tamer Bowling Ball reviews.